still join us.
I can bring them back.
It's your chance
Jordan,
to bring
I can
back
bring your
anyone you've
entire
ever loved or
forces
cared
back.
about.
Just give me.
Shut up!
The event is finally here. Struggle or strangle.
I must have
Another challenger? Time to up this. The void protects its children. With the effort. Twin terrors. I feel death's pull. Another challenger. Life is so brittle. Handle this. Be healed and fight on. Desolate flare survival. And I hear tight tethers.
face your destiny.
Handle this. Time to up this. Resist the assault.
I am the Lord. I'm better.
A veil of safety and security.
Lord.
Until next time.
Hey guys, Bam here. So today I want to show you the strategy I used to get to level 100. As you can see, my character now is level 100. So this strategy focuses on EXP, but also gives a lot of currency. So those are the Scarabs I've been using, and using it on Citadel maps, so meaning the Cyrus Guardians. And I'll show you exactly why I've been doing that. So first off, as you can see on the Atlas tree, I'm focusing on getting Conqueror maps, Elder and Shaper Guardian maps, and Synthesized maps under Maven with Destructive Play. The reason why we are doing this is that we're getting a bunch of those maps if we do this because we have additional bosses, right? And then I'll talk about the Scarabs. But so this is nothing new. I'm just grabbing a bunch of stuff. Also, since sometimes the Citadel maps can be tier 14, for example here, we got a lot of higher chance of getting one tier higher map, because in order to get T17 maps, we need our maps to be T16, and then there's a chance to be converted. So if you're running those Guardian maps which are lower tier, you need some ways to get it to T16, and the more you have, the more chances you actually get it converted to a T17, and this is a big chunk of our profit. So yeah, it's even better if you only run T16, but sometimes, especially if you buy a bunch of them, because you cannot self-sustain with this unless you change type of Guardian you're doing. But sometimes you will buy them in bulk, and most people do not sort them by tier. So you will just get some, like here, a T14. Alright? So as you can see, we get a bunch of those nodes that give you a chance to get one tier higher. Aside of that, we have June. And the reason why we have June is that from my testing this league, I get a Veiled Orb every 2 Katarina runs. And if we set it right, we can spawn Katarina every 20 minutes or so with this strategy. So yeah, it's pretty good. As I said, about half of the time I will get a Veiled Orb. The rest is pretty bad. The like the chests you get from doing the Mastermind are usually not worth it. There's only one dude that actually gives you something. I'll talk about it later when we talk about June. But the other thing is that safe houses are double EXP. So yeah, they're pretty good EXP. Also, when you kill the syndicate members, they also give you a chunk of EXP. So yeah, this is why we're doing June. Plus, we added some shrines, so all the shrine nodes. We just want as many shrines as possible. For 2 reasons. First off, it helps you clear the map faster, gives you buffs for a while, but also it gives you a bunch of magic monster that gives gold. So yeah, it's pretty worth it. So that's about it, and then we have a bunch of Scarab nodes because we focus on this. So rare monsters in your maps have 50% chance to drop a Scarab per monster modifiers, right? And a bunch of other stuff like this. Unique monsters have 200% increased chance to drop Scarabs, and we'll have a bunch of unique monsters through Syndicate, plus all the bosses with destructive play. And also you have to keep in mind it's 1 to 3 additional bosses, but then again you have the Cyrus Guardian, which is another boss. So the minimum you can get per map is 3 bosses, but it can go up to 5 bosses. Alright? Alright, next we have this pack with energy. So whenever we click on a sulfite node, we will get movement speed, damage, +1 to all elemental resistance. So again, just like shrines, it's barrel powers. It will help us clear faster. And then we have this. So whenever we click on sulfite veins, we have 10% chance to get an equal amount of azurite. So that way we can buy resonator and use them ourselves if we want, or if not, we just sell them back. There are like 2 chaos, a bit more than 2 chaos per in bulk. By the way, I'll just show you real quick if you don't know how it works. So if we go to the mine and campaign, we talk to Nico and then purchase item, and then as you can see I have 17,000 right now, so I can buy a bunch of them and then just sell it back. Or what I'm doing is buying whatever I need and then using it in myself. But as I said, you can sell them. As you can see, they are, yeah, like 70 or so for a divine, so about a bit more than 2 chaos each. All right, so now yeah, I think I thought about everything but June. So the June nodes we're getting is this. So 100% chance, more likely to be accompanied by their leader. We just want more interaction with the syndicate. That way we progress it faster and we actually found Katarina faster. And this is super important. Immortal Syndicate member executed maps have 100% chance to get an additional rank. And the other one doesn't matter as much, but if you want, completing your map grants 10%, 10 intelligence. So yeah, completing a map will just help you progress faster to your syndicate safe houses. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the tree. I wish I had another point just to fix this because it annoys me. It tickles my OCD, but it is what it is. If you do not have all your points, well, you can always skip those nodes. They are not as important. Alright, now let's talk about these Scarabs. So the first one is Betrayal Scarab. The normal one is just guaranteed June because we don't have, on our Atlas, we don't have guaranteed June. So we need that one in order to use other Syndicate Scarabs. Then we have Betrayal Scarab of Reinforcement. This will just have more members in general, so more interaction, so you actually progress faster into your safe houses. Then we have Betrayal Scarab of Intelligence. It will again makes you travel faster into your safe houses because it's 150% increase intelligence, meaning that bar, I'll show you real quick. That bar here will fill up faster. Also the bar for the mastermind will also fill up faster. So alright, next we have, so those are all the June Scarabs, and they're all 1 chaos or less per. So if you look at this, they're like 220, so it's extremely cheap to run. That Scarab is also cheap. The only one that's worth something is actually Titanic Scarab of Treasure. So that one is about, yeah, 24, 25 per divine, so around 6 to 7 chaos per. But yeah, so this is the base stuff. Now if you want more stuff out of your maps, you can run Titanic Scarab and Titanic Scarab of Treasure, but no, you must know that it will be harder to kill stuff. So if you're having problem, you can skip those until your build gets better, because what it does is unique monster have 2% increased toughness, damage, rarity, and quantity per 1% area increased pack size of area. So yeah, they can get pretty juicy. So if you are struggling with damage, do not use this, nor this one, because this one is unique monster have 2 additional rewards, but they are 30% increase in toughness. And the reason why we use stuff for unique monsters is for June and also for all the bosses we encounter. But as I said, if you want, you can skip, especially this one as it is pricey. You will have to test if you can actually end all those Scarabs. If you cannot, just set them aside for a while until your build gets better. Alright, now for the map device, you can use the 8% increased quantity of items found if you want, as it costs nothing, right? But I prefer to use Domination because it will give us 3 additional shrines. Again, more borrowed powers, and especially if you get the accelerating shrine, which will help you run through the fast super fast. So I really prefer using that. But then if you don't want to spend the 3 chaos, I would understand, no problem. And then you run whatever map you have. As I said, I prefer running Iris Guardian maps. But you can run Elder or Shaper map, it works just fine. But those maps, the Cyrus Guardian maps, actually have more unique monsters because you kill the boss and then you kill the Cyrus Guardian. And also they are faster because some of the Shaper and Elder Guardian maps have a lot of faces, so it can be annoying. Alright, now where does the profit come from? Well, first off, whenever you kill Katarina, she actually dropped the failed orb. You get around 9 divines. Right now they're 8.5 divines, so it varies. But yeah, in bulk, I always sell them at least 9 divine. And you get a bunch of Crescent Splinters, which will turn into Maven Writ, and those goes for 0.7 divine in bulk. Even sometimes 0.8. But yeah, that's a bulk of our profit. The other thing is you will get a bunch of those, so exalted orbs. What I do is I list them at 2 divines, so they're pretty pricey. And sometimes I will get someone that will buy a chunk of that 2 divines. If you want, you can actually compete with whatever the price is. Like right now it's 1.6, but when I do this, it will always end up selling. So yeah, you can sell for more if you want. Then we have Orb of Conflict, which will drop from the invitation sometimes. It's pretty rare, to be honest, like 1 in 6 or 7 invitation, I would say. Yeah, and then from the bosses themselves, we get a bunch of Maven Chisel. The best one is Maven Chisel of Scarabs. As you can see, I have a bunch of them. The reason why I've only have 3 of the Maven Chisel of Scarabs. By the way, this drop in maps from the bosses and also from the invitation. The reason why I only have 3 of them is that whenever I want to sell them, well, I list them at 1 divide for 4 Maven Chisel of Scarabs, and I just wait. And at some point, someone will buy them. If you want, you can sell them for 5 for a divine. It will sell pretty quickly, but I prefer waiting as I don't need the money. But if you're in need for money, just list them at 5 for a divine. It will sell instantly. Yeah, so this is the bulk of it, but also you have to keep in mind we'll get a bunch of Shaper, Elder, Cyrus, and Synthesized map, and also all of those are worth, and also you can get T17. So since we're dropping a lot of maps, those maps can be converted into T17, meaning you have a higher chance of getting T17 than some other ways that just farming random mobs. So yeah, this is how we generate currency. As you can see, like this is all the T17 I have right now. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, but to be honest, I've been running it a lot. So yeah, I would say on average, every 2 maps you get a T17, something like that. Of course, it depends on a lot of factors. If you're using all the Scarabs I'm using, if you're running the map fully, if you're juicing your map a lot by like using chisels and follow orb on it. There's a lot of factor, but yeah, it's pretty common to get T17. And then we have a lot of Scarabs we actually get, and the reason why is that we have this node, so unique monsters in your maps have 200% increased chance to drop Scarabs, and since we have so many unique mobs, all the syndicate members and all the bosses, and this final boss in each map, 25% chance to drop an additional Scarab, plus Scarabs found in your maps are more likely to be less common rarities. So yeah, we will drop a lot of useful one. It's pretty common to get one that is like half a divine or a divine worth. So yeah, it adds up. I didn't track the Scarab because it's super random. There's no way to say I get like 5 divines per hour from the Scarabs. Because sometimes you will get like 40, 50 chaos worth, and on the next hour you will get like 5 divine worth of Scarabs. So since it's super random, I didn't take it into account.
The cycle of life
Okay, one last thing. You have to level your syndicate members. From what I've seen, the higher level your syndicate members are, the more chances at getting a Veiled Orb. So you always want to talk to the guy that's not 3 stars first, and then you will right click it. It will gain a rank, and the only way to get a rank is actually to have another member actually see him. So yeah, that's why we want to pick up the one that are lower rank, and then once we click it, it will get 2 ranks because we have the atlast node. And yeah, that's about it. The only thing you don't want to do is remove rivalries. You want to keep that in there, and that's about it. Aside of that, you can do whatever, but try to focus on getting them as high level as possible, meaning 3 stars, and then it will fill up pretty quickly once you imprison them. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully this strategy is as fun as I was doing. By the way, while you're doing this, you also are farming Cyrus Fragment, and right now the Awakening Orb is 8 divine. It was 9 divine yesterday, which is crazy. So yeah, it's even more profitable than it was running Cyrus. So yeah, if you do everything in there and then farm Cyrus, you will make huge profit. So hopefully this helped, and as always, take care guys.